Solo Sikoa betrays Roman Reigns. 3 surprises rumored for WWE Raw. Brock Lesnar brutally attacked. Lana sends Bray Wyatt a love message. Dominik Mysterio breaks silence after Rey Mysterio unexpectedly leaves WWE Raw. Roman Reigns praised for blowing Matt Riddle off. Let's jump right into our first story. 3 surprises rumored for WWE Raw. WWE Raw should be the show to watch this week. Even without naming the potential surprises that could transpire, here are the advertised segments. Brock Lesnar is scheduled to appear. Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle will clash in singles action for the United States Championship, and the Good Brothers will face the Alpha Academy. Oh, and that's not all that WWE Raw has in store for fans. It turns out that The Miz and Dexter Lumis will finally clash on the show. So much could potentially happen this week. Here are some surprises that could change the course for good. Number 3. Brock Lesnar embraces the heel in him and aligns with Seth Rollins. Brock Lesnar inadvertently cost Bobby Lashley his United States Championship on last week's show. Or did he? One thing we know about Lesnar is that he loves a payday. Could Seth Rollins be an unlikely benefactor lining up the Beast's pockets with green? This could lead to 2 exciting scenarios for the individuals involved. Imagine the Beast incarnate and the Visionary allying based on a financial relationship, which leads to a Bobby Lashley and Daniel Cormier alliance. The crossover appeal for such a match would be immense. A heel turn from Lesnar on WWE Raw could be the first major step in that direction. The simplest way to make this happen is to have Lesnar help Rollins retain his championship against Riddle. Number 2. Bray Wyatt appears on the screen during a big Alexa Bliss match. Alexa Bliss may have let go of her fiendish ways, but she still carried Lily the doll around for months after her alliance with The Fiend concluded. Maybe there is still a tinge of darkness in her that Bray Wyatt could tap when the time is right. So, let's assume there's a match on WWE Raw where Bliss suddenly glances upon the big screen, and lo and behold, it's her old friend. Will she be bewitched again and march on over to the dark side? Or will she not want to align with Bray Wyatt anymore? This is a question that needs to be addressed on WWE Raw. While not everyone was a fan of Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt's run, everything she has done since has felt rather underwhelming. If anything, the proposed alliance may be a step up. Number 1. A major star returns to WWE Raw and says he was behind the whole Dexter Lumis plot. Even though The Miz has been at the mercy of Dexter Lumis in recent weeks, somehow Ciampa hasn't been around to back him up. Could he be revealed as the architect of the whole thing? A plot to take down the A-lister, because he was in The Miz's shadow from the time he first showed up on WWE Raw. So much could potentially transpire in this week's edition. Be sure to list your thoughts on all of the twists and turns we've mentioned in this video. Agree, disagree, don't give a damn, let us know. Brock Lesnar brutally attacked. Former WWE manager Jim Cornette recently spoke about Brock Lesnar's return to Monday Night Raw this past week. The Beast appeared on the season premiere of Raw and squared off with Bobby Lashley. Lesnar addressed the United States champion before attacking him with successive F5s. Brock then synced in the Kimura lock before leaving the arena. On the latest episode of Jim Cornette's Drive-Thru, the wrestling veteran pointed out that no one came to Lashley's aid when he was being decimated by Lesnar. He stated that some WWE officials did come out after the break but weren't there when the US champ needed some intervention. So yes, he was surprised by Brock Lesnar. That attack, he didn't know it was coming. And besides, the fact that we found out Bobby has no friends, nobody gives a ST about him, and didn't come to help him. Then, they go to break and they come back from the break and now the referees are checking on him. About 5 or 6 of them. Where were you motherfuckers a minute ago when I needed you? Right. Brock's attack cost Lashley the United States Championship as he lost the singles encounter against Seth Rollins immediately thereafter. After the brutal loss, Bobby Lashley was in a backstage segment with a WWE correspondent. The Almighty mentioned that he would deal with Seth freaking Rollins later and issued a challenge to Brock Lesnar to show up next week so that the 2 men could settle their differences face to face. Since then, WWE has confirmed on their website that the Beast has accepted Lashley's challenge and will be appearing on the upcoming episode of Raw. Do you think WWE is setting up for an epic showdown between Lashley and Lesnar? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Dominik Mysterio breaks silence after Rey Mysterio unexpectedly leaves WWE Raw. The Judgment Day's Dominik Mysterio broke his silence as his father unexpectedly departed from WWE Raw and joined the Blue brand. For the past few weeks, Rey Mysterio has been living a nightmare as his son betrayed him and Edge at WWE Clash at the Castle. He would go on to join the force they were fighting all along, the Judgment Day. Since joining the stable, Dominik has completely gone against his father. The stable has been corrupting Dominik and Rey is unable to strike back at his son. Last night, Mysterio showed up on SmackDown and wanted to quit WWE. After speaking with Triple H, Rey Mysterio joined the Blue brand. Here's how Dominik promoted his upcoming meet and greet by taking a shot at Rey. Now that I've run my dad off of Raw, looks like you'll need a real man to show up. I'll see you there. It will be interesting to see if Dominic Mysterio and the Judgment Day follow Rey Mysterio to the blue brand or try different methods to get under Rey's skin. During the pandemic era, Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio feuded for several months. To defend his father's honor, Dominic Mysterio decided to step inside the squared circle and face Seth Rollins. Unfortunately, he lost to Rollins in his debut match at SummerSlam. Later, the father-son duo were drafted to the blue brand where they continued their feud with the Visionary along with Murphy. In 2021, their focus shifted to the tag team division as they began to win more tag team matches on the brand. The duo finally got their shot at the gold when they faced the Dirty Dogs, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania Backlash. After a hellacious battle, they became the first father-son duo to hold the gold. Unfortunately, their reign ended at the hands of the Bloodlines, the Usos, at WWE Money in the Bank 2021. Since then, the duo were stuck in limbo in the tag team division before Dominic turned on his father to join the Judgment Day. Do you want to see Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania 39? Sound off in the comments section. Lana sends Bray Wyatt a love message. Lana has sent a heartfelt message to Bray Wyatt in response to a post he recently shared on Instagram. Bray Wyatt's WWE return was incredibly well received by fans as well as fellow pro wrestling personality. Wyatt had been sharing tons of cryptic messages on Twitter before his WWE return. In one of his tweets, Wyatt shared his definition of pro wrestling and called it a fairy tale for masochists. Wyatt went on to explain in vivid detail what wrestling meant to him. He also shared the post on Instagram. Former WWE superstar Lana recently noticed the post and shared it on her Instagram story. Lana added the following to the caption of her story: "This is why I fell in love with wrestling." Beautifully said. WWE released Lana on June 2, 2021. About 2 months later, Wyatt was released on July 31, 2021. Lana and Wyatt are two of several top names who were let go by WWE last year. Similar to Wyatt, Lana is yet to step back into the ring following her WWE release. Lana received a text message from former WWE chairman Vince McMahon following her release from the company. "I definitely got emotional about it because it was just like goodbye for me, you know. He thanked me for my incredible work ethic and for my relentless desire to be the best that I could be and all of the contributions that I gave to the WWE, so that really meant a lot to me. I thanked him for everything you taught me because I learned so much. I've learned so many life lessons, and so I am incredibly thankful." Judging by Lana's reaction to her release and her message to Bray Wyatt, it's clear that she is quite passionate about pro wrestling. It remains to be seen what the future holds for her and if she ever makes a return to WWE. Would you like to see Lana make a WWE return? Give your thoughts in the comments section below. Roman Reigns praised for blowing Matt Riddle off. Roman Reigns was recently challenged to a singles match by former UFC fighter and WWE star Matt Riddle. The Bloodline opened the Monday Night Raw season premiere show, and during the segment, Reigns claimed that Jey Uso was Sami Zayn's problem. This led to an interruption from Riddle, who wanted another shot at the Tribal Chief's undisputed WWE Universal Championship. The challenge was rejected by the head of the table. Speaking on Jim Cornette's drive-thru, Jim Cornette admitted that he was glad the Tribal Chief turned down Riddle's challenge. He further labeled the Raw star a goof and explained why he isn't a big fan of the 36-year-old. So Jey still doesn't but Sami or wants to be around Sami, but now Roman has dictated that Sami needs to be able to handle Jey's anger issues. But here comes Riddle and more bro. Maybe that's why I don't like him so much. I'm shell-shocked by the bro thing, but he acts so goofy when he challenges Roman. I was afraid Roman was going to accept. Thankfully, he blew him off like a fooing goof and said, "Hey, nah," said Cornette. Roman and Matt previously collided on SmackDown with Reigns picking up the win. Instead of getting a rematch, Riddle faced the honorary use in singles competition. Jim Cornette recently praised Roman Reigns and the Bloodline for their recent work. During the same conversation, Cornette specifically claimed that Zayn is incredible. He added that despite Zayn being a sycophantic SCK up to the Bloodline, he has been getting some of the biggest reactions from the WWE Universe. Additionally, Cornette mentioned that the honorary use is one of WWE's biggest babyfaces. He said, "Roman Reigns is great, Paul Heyman's great, Sami Zayn is incredible. He's getting these Sami chants every time he opens his mouth, or even he'll hold his finger up, may I speak. And he's become one of their biggest babyfaces as a giant sycophantic SCK up. But at least on this show, he's fun to watch." On the latest edition of SmackDown, Zayn defeated former WWE champion Kofi Kingston, courtesy of Jey Uso's assist. Have you been enjoying the Bloodline's run as of late? Sound off in the comments section. Solo Sikoa betrays Roman Reigns. Former WWE champion Sheamus has issued a warning to the Bloodline. The Celtic Warrior took the fight to the Roman Reigns-led faction on this week's SmackDown. This week's show featured Sheamus in a fatal four-way match against Rey Mysterio, Ricochet, and Solo Sikoa to determine the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship. Midway through the match, the Brawling Brutes engaged in a brawl with the Bloodline, with Ridge Holland, Butch, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn making their way down to the ring to join in on the action. Taking to Twitter, Sheamus warned Sikoa by claiming that the Bloodline's end begins with him. The end of the Bloodline starts with Solo. Ireland v Islanders. #Celtic Vengeance, wrote Sheamus. It now remains to be seen if WWE is planning a feud between Brawling Brutes and the Bloodline going forward. The Bloodline is currently scheduled to face Imperium later this year in Dortmund, Germany. A 6-man tag team match for a house show was confirmed, as Gunther is set to team up with Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci to face the Usos and Solo Sikoa in November. The two factions currently work under the Blue brand but have never crossed paths. Imperium has been feuding with Brawling Brutes for months. Faction leader Gunther has defended his Intercontinental Championship twice against Sheamus, whereas, at Extreme Rules, the Celtic Warriors team got one better by beating their rivals in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns will defend the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at Crown Jewel against Logan Paul. The two men recently got into a feud after a conversation on the Impulsive podcast. This will be Roman Reigns' first defense since beating Drew McIntyre in the UK. Meanwhile, it remains to be seen if WWE plans on booking the Usos for a title defense in Saudi Arabia.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head,